Maria Braun.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's so great. We got the chance to catch up a little bit before we got started.
Yeah.
And talked all about our children, of course.
Yeah, of course, you have to.
And how expensive everything is, and how we're going to be in debt for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
But they are worth it.
Wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. How cool.
Yeah.
And our kids are around the same age.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Yeah. We're going through the same stuff. You are going through stuff before I am, so I get to pick your ear about things.
It's fun.
But yeah. What's wow. Is she gonna follow in your footsteps? Is she gonna be a actress?
You know, I was actually just about to pose that same question to you. I've been watching, I don't know if you've been watching that Quiet on Set documentary at all that's been on about Nickelodeon.
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Watch it. It's unsettling. It's kind of intense.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because a lot of the actors, there's a couple of points where they're posing to the actors, would you ever have your kids involved in this? Resounding no's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I'm not ingrained in it as much as these people were on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, but I almost wonder, like, what is it that they're seeing that I'm not?
Yeah.
Because I kind of question it, you know, and you want a kid to have a childhood, but at the same time, I'm like, is that, you know, what do I take away from her by getting her involved in that? Or what am I giving her by getting her involved in that? What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, I've got so many thoughts on that.
Tell me. I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, as it stands now, I would say never. Like, I would not.
Hardcore never.
Yeah, it's a big no for me because, I mean, a ton of reasons. But I've seen, like, I've worked with kids on sets, and they're so cute and they're so amazing.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. They're usually mature beyond their years.
Yeah.
And I've seen their parents around them, and I don't want to judge, though, you know? I don't want to say anything too judgy about that, but
I totally get it.
I just have never seen... I've seen less success stories than I have, like, disasters.
Yeah.
So, and with me, myself, like, I just started acting, like, in my 30s, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I made that decision later on in life.
Right.
And it worked for me, I guess. Although, you know, I always refer to myself as a late bloomer with everything.
Yeah.
I feel like I would want him to make his own decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But so many people are like, oh my God, he's an actor. He's a performer. He's beautiful. He's so handsome. He should be on commercials and movies and blah, 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 blah. And I've even had friends, director friends that we both know, say, hey, you know, we could bring him in on this and this and that. And I'm like, you haven't been around this child for 6 hours straight. Like, you know, like, he has needs, and there's no way he's going to focus on, as a toddler at least, focus on what we need to do.
Yeah. It's real.
So,
it's real.
Yeah.
I could remember when I was still pregnant with Olivia that I had people reaching out to me, all in good faith, saying, you know, let us know when the due date is. We're interested in, like, having her on screen right away. We're looking for baby. And it's overwhelming. Like, it's flattering to think, like, oh, you know, my baby you haven't met yet, you think is going to be a star.
It's going to be amazing, yeah.
It's, you wonder, like, how much exposure to that they should have. And I actually asked my daughter a couple days ago, I said, do you ever want to be in commercials? And she said, no, I just want to watch Mom in commercials. And I said, all right, that's fine. Yeah. So,
but she knows, though.
She
knows
does.
what you do.
She does.
And what Mark does.
Yeah, she does.
And, well, how does she react? So she has seen you on the screen, I'm assuming?
She has, yeah.
What does she say?
That's Mommy.
Yeah.
That's Mommy.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? This is a little trick, and this might work for Christian, but, you know, she's queen of the TV at our house, and we try to, like, limit screen time and everything. But if there's a night that I just want to watch something, like, that doesn't fly with her. It's her time. Doesn't matter. So what I've been doing lately, it's kind of silly, but it works still. we'll watch something on TV and I'll just say, wait for mommy to come on.
Oh,
wait for mommy. So she sits and she's watching, like, honed in, waiting for me. And it's hilarious, but it works.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she'll be like, there you are. And it'll be like a random man, like, dude. Like, and she's like, there you are. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah.
So, you know.
How funny.
It is funny.
That's great.
So.
Yeah, it is tough to have, like, if you want to watch something like the Bills games, like, they're on it every time possible.
Yeah.
And it took a while for him to understand that when the TV goes on, it's not just his TV time, you know. It's, we're watching the Bills, you're wearing the jersey that these guys are wearing, and that's what's happening. And he'll just, you know, he gets it now, but initially it was, he's jumping all over me. I want to watch Cars. I want to watch Blaze. I want to watch blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, Bills, go Bills, right?
We never had that problem.
Really?
She's a hardcore Josh Allen fan. The second he's on screen, it's like, everyone shut up. Like, we'll watch a game that's not even the Bills and she's screaming, go Josh Allen! So, luckily we haven't had an issue with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it took like 2 or 3 games for him to realize that this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You can watch, you can play, you can cuddle with me, whatever you want to do. This is what we're watching. Yes. So.
Amen.
Yeah.
Go Bills.
I mean, you got to put your foot down for that.
Oh yeah. Totally. Totally.
So, yeah. Let's talk about Cannes, the Cannes Film Festivals, please.
Yes.
That you went to twice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
It's wild.
I was so excited for you guys. Oh,
Thanks.
it's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Oh, I mean, okay, so let's tell, you know, for people who don't know.
Yeah.
You and I were on different teams during the Buffalo 48-hour film project. And, you know, we would compete and make a film within 48 hours from start to finish.
Yeah. And
submit it. And you guys, Pan American, but you were called something else before.
We used to be the partially submerged elephants.
Elephants.
That lasted, I think, a year, and then we refined it a little bit.
Yeah. I like Pan Am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's good.
Yeah.
And not only is it a greater sounding name, but the fact that you took it international so people know that it's a Buffalo thing is really cool.
It's a total nod to Buffalo and our city and the love for it. So
it's so cool.
It's been fun to spread that around.
Yeah. So anyway, we competed. You guys got Best Film in Buffalo 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. And went to...
was it 2?
Or
I don't know. So, yes, we did Best Film in 2017. 2018, we were runner-up, but we ended up partaking in the 4 Points Film Project, which is, you're familiar with that.
Yes.
The international online competition. We actually won that. So that's how we were able to get into Cannes a second year in a row.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What years were they again?
I think it was 2017, 2018, and then 2021. Mm-hmm. So we did 3 times, and I went twice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's wild.
Amazing. I mean, I love the fact that the 48 has that through line. Oh, and that we can get there.
The opportunity is insane. Yeah. And I mean, for a city like Buffalo too, I mean, we've got a lot of talent here, but one of the things, the opportunity in Buffalo to make your way to Cannes, or at least to Filmapalooza, is amazing, because you look at cities like LA, I have friends in LA who do the 48 out there, and they're dealing with competition of 135 teams.
Wow.
And Buffalo has a cap of 30-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's growing.
It is growing.
Bigger.
It is, which is awesome.
Year. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I love seeing the young teams come up, like the student,
it's great.
College student teams.
It's great.
And
they're getting better every year, and they're making names for themselves. And last year was really cool. Having stepped away from the 48 for the past year or so, I was able to present some awards last year. Jordan had me come up, which was really cool. But I was able to present an award to a former student of mine.
That's
I'm a
right.
teacher. And it was just wild. It felt like a full circle moment. And he found out about it because in school he was interested. And he's like, that's so cool. How do I do it? I said, just do it. Just get involved. And he just did. Good. He started showing up to the award ceremonies, Isaac, and he's like, I just want to network. I'm like, you're doing exactly what you should be. Exactly. And there he is accepting his first award. It's awesome.
Given to him by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
It's great being a teacher.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
My job has been very supportive of me having this acting career outside of teaching. And, when we went to Cannes or Filmapalooza.
Oh, they know.
Oh, they know.
Wow.
Well, I teach for part of the year, I teach a media analysis class. So we teach film. I was a drama teacher and a drama director for 10 years. So, it's fun every once in a while to say, like, let me show you what we do on set. Like, here's what an on-set experience looks like. And I know because I do it. And that's really neat to be able to share, like, my real life. It's not just flipping through a textbook all the time. Yeah. It's like, let me bring in some of my friends who are going to tell you what they do and show you their cameras. And
that's perfect.
It's very wild.
Yeah.
So.
And have any of them, like, interned for Pan Am or anything?
No, we haven't had any interns yet. We've had some inquiries for sure. But, yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's next. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Cannes, though. What do you want to know about Cannes? I want to tell you about this experience.
Please. First of all, I mean, you had to be in shock knowing that you won. Not only Buffalo, but then Filmapalooza.
Yeah.
And so when you won Filmapalooza, does that mean you go to Cannes?
So I'll try and explain it as quickly as possible. So you win your city. You have the opportunity to go to Filmapalooza.
We should have Jordan here.
I know, Jordan. Pitch the 48.
Yeah.
Great opportunity. Mm-hmm. So when you win your city, you go to Filmapalooza. Filmapalooza has jumped around all over the world, and our first year was actually in Paris. The most amazing, I can't put it in words. Most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. I mean, yes, having a child and getting married are right up there, but it was wild. And at Filmapalooza, you're competing with all the best films around the world. So they choose a top 10 at Filma, and those top 10 move to Cannes. So we placed, I think our first year we placed third. Mm-hmm. And then you get your screening at Cannes, and you get the whole experience. And what I learned about Cannes was that you can kind of come at it in so many different angles. Like, there's the glitz and the glam of wearing the gowns and the tuxes and walking the red carpet. And then there's really the market side of things, the buying and the selling, the distributing of films, which I didn't know. Like,
so for me, it's almost like a South by Southwest.
Yeah,
type of festival.
Exactly. Yeah. Just in South France.
Yeah.
So I've never been to South by Southwest, so I'm assuming it's very similar. But just to see it, it's intimidating as hell.
Sure.
But it's encouraging at the same time, because you go and you realize there are hundreds, thousands of people doing the same thing you are. And the cool thing is, when you go there, you see people young, you see people old, and you recognize that, like, no matter what, those people in that room, in that theater, are gonna be the people on stage at the Oscars someday.
Yeah.
And it's a wild experience to sit back and be like, I'm here with them, and who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be the lucky one, or the one that grinds their way to get there? And we'd all love to think it's us someday. But yeah, I think I wasn't prepared for the business side of it. So they hold it all in this beautiful building called the Palais, and when you go to the lower floor, it's just a film market. Like it's like the most amazing craft show, but it's these booths of people selling their passion projects, the work that they've put years into. So I think our biggest takeaway, at least the first year, was we got our hands on the list of distributors. It's the coveted list when you get there, of the people who are like, we're here, we're ready to buy.
Yeah.
And so it was just, we got our list, we ran back to our chalet or Airbnb, whatever, and it was just all of us on laptops, emailing every single one. When can we set up meetings? And Cannes is 2 weeks. And by the time we were there, a lot of them had left already, but we did catch a couple of meetings, and we ended up selling our film.
You did?
So we did.
Okay.
Did you not know that?
I probably should have known that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
No, that was Ride of Your Life, our first year.
Okay, yeah.
So we sold that.
I think I did know that.
Yeah. And it's just like, we were all like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, you get the support from your community, you get the support from mom and dad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And your siblings and your friends. But when you're recognized on a level like that, when you can go to a prestigious film festival and there's people saying, we want to buy good quality work. And then they're like, oh, that little film from Buffalo, we want that one.
Yeah.
It's just, you realize like a lot of the limits we have, we put on ourselves.
Of course.
Like our stuff
Yeah.
is valued elsewhere. And
Yes.
that's why it's just so important to keep creating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very
How
invaluable.
amazing.
Yeah.
And that just, what popped into my head was the whole imposter syndrome thing.
Oh, totally. It's
just like,
very
what?
real.
Me? I'm from Buffalo. What are you talking? What, this film? What?
I struggle with that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
that whole mindset of like, am I supposed to be here? And I think I've overcome that over the past couple years.
Yeah.
And I've really kind of trained myself, I guess you could say, to like tell myself like, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm doing these
Yes,
things. Like I must
exactly.
be good.
It's not a fluke. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever dealt with this, but like I'm an anxious person. I think a lot, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, even when I'm booking a gig now and I'm on my way to it, it's still like you're questioning yourself.
Yeah. Am I going to blow it? Like,
Right?
Am I going to do something to make everybody hate me? Or, I mean,
Yeah.
you still have that. Like, I also have trained myself to just be like, okay, you know, you've done all
I'm
this.
good.
You know, you're good, dude.
Yeah.
But that little voice kind of peeps in every now and then is like,
It's a jerk.
man, you can just, you know, kiss it all goodbye by doing something stupid or, you know.
Yeah. And I'll like lose sleep over it. And it gets me questioning sometimes. It like begs that question, like, are you supposed to be doing this if it causes you so much turmoil? And I go back and forth with that. It's that balance between like, when does a passion when is it not fun anymore? And when are you just not challenging yourself enough? Like discomfort is good. So I don't know. That's what goes on in my mind on the way to every shoot I go to. But it's like that second that camera comes on, you know, you're in it.
You're in it. Yeah. You do it.
I love it.
And and I feel like well, we talked beforehand about how you had asked, are you auditioning for anything? Like, what's going on? Because we haven't seen a lot come through. But I do know that there's a ton of stuff on the way. And in my head, it's like, oh, maybe no one's contacting me because they don't want me to audition. You know, it's the same thing. But no, it's not that at all. Yeah.
I've heard there's some things coming up the pipeline, and it's just that like that waiting period that's killer.
Yeah. And I've noticed over my decades that there is it's like a cycle, you know. There are lulls, there are peaks and valleys of when projects come and are available. So I know that this is one of those. And May of every year kicks up. Yeah. You know, I've noticed in May it just you have too many. It's like then you have to pick.
I know. Isn't it? It's that vicious cycle of like total and utter just desolation, and then there's days where I'm like, I've got to pick between two awesome gigs in one day. Yeah. And I mean, that's a great problem to have. I don't have it often. Correct. But like, it's like, come on. Yeah. So that's the nature of the game, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, it happens. We get through it. Yeah. We get to the levels that we've gotten to. Yeah. Which is kind of nice, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, so did we finish? Did we finish? I don't know.
I'll tell you a fun story.
You sold your movie?
Well, we did. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome.
And that's kind of the end of that. It was sold to Shorts TV. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I think I have.
Yeah. So they played it on TV a few times. I don't really know what happens once it's handed off.
Yeah, sure.
Which is kind of the scary part too, because it's like you put so much passion into something, and then someone's like, "Yeah, that's content. Like, I'll take it." Yeah. But a funny story, not funny, but like pretty cool. I think it's cool. Mark, my husband, we were in between going to some screenings, and you just kind of roaming around the French Riviera and seeing the sights and the sounds and the outfits and all that stuff. And we were in the Palais, and we were kind of just like moseying through these stairwells that were like kind of don't go back there, but we're just like, I don't know, let's look around. Yeah. And we're walking through, and we see this man just like barging up the stairs, literally bumps into both of us. And Mark's like, what the hell, dude? And the guy turns around and he's like, sorry, hello. And it's Quentin Tarantino. And I'm like, and Mark's like, geez, this guy. And I'm like, no, do you know who that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's awesome. Just with his bodyguard, and he was running off to some talk or something. But I was like, that's pretty amazing. Cool. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That can only happen there.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
We're LA.
Yeah, we're LA.
But
yeah.
Whatever.
So that was pretty fun.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We didn't have much of a conversation, but
no, of course.
We now, first name basis.
Yeah. You touched them, so that's good. Yeah.
We're basically best friends.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you and I have worked on several projects together.
Yes.
I think I first met you on a project.
What was it?
Hosting the Addies.
Yes.
The Addie Awards. Hosting the Addie Awards.
That was so much fun.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I can't remember what year that was, but
I want to say
pre-pandemic,
it was like,
obviously.
Yeah. I think it was 2018.
Was it 2018?
So that was right after Ride of Your Life. That was the film that we sold. And I remember Jason Yates reaching out, and he's like, I saw you or heard about you through the 48.
Yeah.
Thanks to the 48. You've done so much for us.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
And like, what a cool experience that was. So I remember we went out to Pearl Street and just talked a couple hours before. We're like, let's figure out like who we are.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. That was a good time.
That was, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun because I have never done theater or live performance.
I was going to ask you that.
No. I mean, as a musician, I have.
Yeah.
All of my life. I've been in front of audiences.
Yeah.
But as far as acting, no, I've never acted on stage like that.
Yeah.
And you're a theater guru, so that's kind of second nature to you.
I wouldn't call myself a guru by any stretch of the imagination, but I will say you were very natural.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so my roots are in theater. I think any person can say like, oh, I was the theater kid in high school, but I started directing straight out of high school.
Wow.
Did a little bit of theater in college, and then started directing at my current job, and was running stage crew and drama club, all that stuff. But I'd missed being on stage.
Yeah.
And I knew like that window of opportunity for me to get back on stage probably wasn't going to be happening again, because it's a commitment, and I give credit to anybody who
time commitment. Yeah.
For sure, to do all those rehearsals and the runs, it's just it's unbelievable. Yeah. But there is this intoxicating, irreplaceable feeling of being in front of a live audience that I miss, and that fed that in that short time.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do miss it.
I was terrified.
Were you?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, yeah, yeah. I'm getting a little anxious
really?
thinking about it right now. Yeah, that was a huge, packed audience.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, we had a teleprompter too, so that was helpful.
Teleprompter-ish. It was a little.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a PowerPoint.
Did the job.
Yeah.
You're good with improv. We managed.
Yeah, exactly.
We've done enough improv.
Yeah.
Which is other stuff that we worked on too.
That's right.
A lot of improv.
Yeah, we did. Well, what was because you and Mark were on I think it was a 4 Points, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Did? Family Unit.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting because we did that with Myers.
Yeah.
John. And they brought out do you remember they brought out costuming? And he's like, all right, put this dress on. I was like, I can't wear that. Do you remember why?
Yeah. You had announced.
I was like, I guess I got to tell everyone that I'm pregnant.
Is that why?
That's why, yeah. So nobody knew yet.
Because you said it, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Does anyone know this? And you're like, no.
Nobody.
We got the exclusive?
You did. Because he gives me this little slinky dress, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
No. And I barely brought any other stuff. So anyway, yeah.
Wow.
You guys were were some of the first to know that I was having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was over 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay, good. What else? We have done... Oh, Cloyd.
Cloyd.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with
the
all
series.
the improv. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloyd.
Yeah. And that was what was really great about that, because we could improv
Oh my gosh.
all we wanted to, and we did, and it was hilarious. Like every scene in that, because again, it was Yates and Kathy,
Yates, Dave Ottavino, Bill. I mean,
Patterson. Yeah.
Bill will let you run with whatever.
Yeah. And they did, and we did, and it's still, in my opinion, one of the most hilarious series. And I think it's still on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I watch it every once in a while.
Do you?
I do.
It's
I do.
fun.
I really do.
It was fun doing, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Seeing it.
Yeah.
Because some of it is just so ridiculous that it's like, and we get to shit on Dave Cloyd the entire time.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what the whole thing is about, is shitting on Cloyd. So
I know.
Yeah.
We love you, Dave.
Yeah. The Actorsphere Podcast is brought to you by Bison Insurance. Do you have insurance? Everyone has to have insurance, right? Once you start adulting. I had insurance, and I did it all myself. I went online and thought it was easy. Just, typed in all my information, got a quote, paid everything online, didn't talk to anyone. But then I was referred to Anthony at Bison Insurance. And he said, you know what, man? Let me just check out your insurance and give you a free quote and see if I can save you money. So I said, okay. And he came back to me with quotes on my homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, my motorcycle insurance, my everything. And he literally saved me thousands of dollars a year just by doing the work for me. It was easier than going online, because all he did was make a phone call and give him some information, and he saved me thousands of dollars. I couldn't have done that on my own. So call Bison Insurance at 716-791-7475 for a free quote. Again, you can call or text 716-791-7475 at Bison Insurance, or go to insurancebison.com.
You have any plan to ever go back to the 48?
Yeah, I've been doing them.
You have? You did it last year?
I've never stopped doing them.
Wait a second, though. You did it last year.
Yeah.
Which one? With who?
Oh, so.
I
same
heard,
team.
Okay, I heard a little something mumblings about things, but
What did you hear?
Well, I don't want to get it wrong, and I also don't want to be like.
Like gossip?
Not gossip. Is this part of the podcast?
Yeah. Then no.
No, it just.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, of course not. I don't want it to be.
Oh, okay.
No, it was just something about like a splitting up of the team.
Oh.
And like.
No. No. Okay. Yeah. Yes. But it was like amicable. It was.
Okay. I had impressions it was otherwise.
So yeah, Bill Patterson broke off a couple years back to like mentor.
Yeah.
Some of his students or interns or something
who are super talented.
Yeah. And so he, instead of being on our team, like traditionally he always is, he started a team with them, and so they did their thing. And we just we have 60,000 directors on our team.
Yeah.
And what is it? What's the saying?
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen are amazing, apparently.
Yeah.
No. So last year we did a movie that was called Shotgun.
Okay, I do remember that. Yeah,
it's not
like
memorable.
starred in that.
Yeah, it's not memorable because it's so different than what we've ever done.
No, but I remember it well now that you say that.
Yeah, and it's my fault because I was going through some stuff.
Yeah,
as you know, and
I don't think I know.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, divorce. I don't want to assume.
Yeah. I was getting divorced. And,
sorry to
hear that. So I was low. Feeling low. And they asked if I wanted to do it. And I said, no, first of all. And then they asked again.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I'll do it if it's not the same goofy shit that we do every year. I said, I'm going through some shit. I'm feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
We can use this.
Yeah.
In this film. I want, and I was not an asshole about it. I was just kind of like, hey, I love you guys, but I need it to go this way and this way and this way and this way. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. And not saying that in a way that's like, fuck you,
Right.
I'm saying it in a way that's like, this is what I want, and I'd like to take it in this direction. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yes, of course. So we did it. And I actually wanted to go here with it. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to go here. So we, kind of compromised on here. And then shotgun is what the result was. So
interesting.
Very moody. It's very questionable. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Have you ever done a role that has taken you too far? Do you know what I mean by that? Like where you've played a real gritty role that like it kind of messes with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to know?
I do.
I played a soldier in Assault on VA-33.
Okay.
And I was being questioned and tortured. And I have, like, most of my family was military.
Okay.
So I had resources to pull from. And I talked to my brother, who was military, my cousin, who is a Medal of Honor recipient, that went through unspeakable things, that when he came home from one of his tours, he told me
oh my gosh,
a lot of shit that I was like, and then he wrote a book about it.
Wow.
And he's just an amazing person. It took me quite a few days to kind of come out of it, out of the funk, mentally, emotionally, and physically. It was freezing cold. It was a Buffalo winter, and we were in the Buffalo silos, some of the waterfront silos, and it was just a wind tunnel. I was tied to a chair and being beaten and stuff. And initially, when they had tied me, they wanted me to be able to get up in between takes, but I didn't want that because it didn't look real.
Yeah.
So I told them, fucking tie me, and I don't want to get out, and I don't want to be, my arms to be flailing.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking tie me. And they're like, okay, motherfucker. And so they did. And I basically sat there for hours, like, and in between takes and like camera switch arounds and stuff. The other actors got to get up and walk to the fucking heater and get all nice and cozy and stuff. And I was just sitting there freezing my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
But I was not okay with it, but I kind of wanted that for the character, but it kind of worked in a way where I was feeling it for at least a week afterwards. So
it's a weird balance because you want to get the best out of it, but you don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know the impact, like when you're really in it, what you're doing to your mental self.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Actorsphere Podcast is brought to you by Bison Insurance. Do you have insurance? Everyone has to have insurance, right? Once you start adulting. I had insurance and I did it all myself. I went online and thought it was easy. Just, typed in all my information, got a quote, paid everything online, didn't talk to anyone. But then I was referred to Anthony at Bison Insurance. And he said, you know what, man? Let me just check out your insurance and give you a free quote and see if I can save you money. So I said, okay. And he came back to me with quotes on my homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, my motorcycle insurance, my everything. And he literally saved me thousands of dollars a year just by doing the work for me. It was easier than going online because all he did was make a phone call and give him some information, and he saved me thousands of dollars. I couldn't have done that on my own. So call Bison Insurance at 716-791-7475 for a free quote. Again, you can call or text 716-791-7475 at Bison Insurance, or go to insurancebison.com. So let's talk about what role, if any, have you done that kind of fucked you up?
Yeah. I've got a few.
I've got
a few, but there's definitely one for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think it had much more to do with what point I was in my life more than the context of what I was asked to do in the role. But I've found a love for those grittier roles in the past years. And I look up to your Olivia Colmans and Frances McDormands and the people who are like willing to get down and dirty and not be, pretty on camera all the time. But anyway, I don't know if you ever saw it. Did you see Blind Spot? It was all filmed within a vehicle. The entire thing was filmed in the car.
Yes.
So this was post-pandemic, post me having a baby during the pandemic. My head was not all right for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And kind of talking to you about that feeling before a shoot where you get in your head about things. It was like that compounded with just anxiety and everything. And we knew when we started writing that script that we wanted it to feel very isolating, very claustrophobic, and very anxiety inducing. So all these things that are just triggers. You're being screamed at inside of a car and you can't get out, and it's just, you're trapped, which is kind of really how I was feeling at that point in my life. So that day, the role prompted me to have these scenes where I'm just like panicking and hyperventilating, which in turn really kind of just spiraled me into that for several days after. I actually ended up on a heart monitor.
What?
I ended up on a heart monitor because, and this was right before shooting, because the fear of knowing I was entering into that realm just set me off. And I ended up with some crazy heart palpitations for a while that they were like, we got to get you in. Wow. So I got it taken off right before we started shooting. And it was crazy. And I look back at it now and, we're really proud of that film. It won Filmapalooza, and that's one of the ones that ended up going to Cannes as well. But I look back at that and sometimes it's hard for me to watch because I remember what it felt like.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The things we do for art.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I in some roles, like I feel like I need that. Yeah. As hard as it is, as hard as it was, like I need not only to challenge myself, but to put myself in a different state of mind in order to feel like alive, I guess, To
feel authentic, too.
Yeah.
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 For sure. And there's something about those roles, they're my favorite ones to play.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you just give and take, and you're like, I'll take the bad with it. I just want to like dig in and have something that just feels so raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Actorsphere Podcast is brought to you by Bison Insurance. Do you have insurance? Everyone has to have insurance, right? Once you start adulting. I had insurance and I did it all myself. I went online and thought it was easy. Just, typed in all my information, got a quote, paid everything online, didn't talk to anyone. But then I was referred to Anthony at Bison Insurance. And he said, you know what, man? Let me just check out your insurance and give you a free quote and see if I can save you money. So I said, okay. And he came back to me with quotes on my homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, my motorcycle insurance, my everything. And he literally saved me thousands of dollars a year just by doing the work for me. It was easier than going online because all he did was make a phone call and give him some information, and he saved me thousands of dollars. I couldn't have done that on my own. So call Bison Insurance at 716-791-7475 for a free quote. Again, you can call or text 716-791-7475 at Bison Insurance, or go to insurancebison.com. I mean, we're not all Joaquin Phoenix, but I think that, putting yourself, I feel blessed and I feel fortunate that I'm able to do this, and I've chosen this. And this kind of goes back to exactly why I don't want Christian to act,
right?
Because I've seen these kid actors put themselves in okay, now the child should be crying here. Yeah. And it's what, how is that kid going to cry authentically, and be upset that their mommy or daddy is doing this or that, I've seen that firsthand, and I just feel like he's just too little for that, I don't know.
It's a job.
Yeah.
Kids should be playing and pooping their pants.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, who doesn't want to play and poop their pants, right? Yeah.
I know I do.
So
that's going to be the only thing.
Well, one day,
right there.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, let's not wish that
I know,
too quickly.
Gosh, right? Yeah. Yeah, that hit real because my parents are aging.
Oh, gosh.
Not pooping their pants yet, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Man, life.
Whew. Yeah, life. Well, you said several roles. What else has taken you to a dark place?
So
let's really bring this podcast down.
Yeah, let's get some heavy stuff in here.
Sad.
Well, like I said, those are my favorite roles. I did two other, again with Pan Am Films, My Heart and My Soul. We did To Have and to Hold, which was the zombie film.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was tough. That was tough because I had to kind of tap into this primal part of me that I knew nothing about. I've never watched a zombie anything in my life. And
really?
Yeah.
Walking Dead, nothing?
Right?
Really?
We're in this time of Walking Dead is the biggest thing ever. Never saw an episode. Never watched a zombie film. So the day of, I'm just watching videos and trying to pick up mannerisms and how do I do this? Yeah. But just to have to reduce myself to this drooling, tied up being.
Savage. Yeah.
And I was tied up.
Yeah.
And it was with chains and ropes that, it was I don't want this to look fake. Tie them up. And they were cutting my arms and I was fighting to get out. So that was unsettling. But I'd say the other one, the big one was Eyes Like Mine. It was during, the slave trade and Niagara Frontier, 1800s. And I played a victim of an abusive husband. And there's a really powerful scene where he suspects that I'm getting too close with another man, and he takes me outside, and there's a whipping scene. And it was one of those really crazy moments where you pull yourself out of your own head and think, okay, if this was really me, and it's this moment that it hits and you recognize this is some people's story.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like this really unsettling feeling of like, first off, I'm really lucky that's not my reality, but this is far too many people's realities in history and even today. So it was probably my favorite role to play, but it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah, real heavy.
Yeah.
The Actorsphere Podcast is brought to you by Bison Insurance. Do you have insurance? Everyone has to have insurance, right? Once you start adulting. I had insurance and I did it all myself. I went online and thought it was easy. Just, typed in all my information, got a quote, paid everything online, didn't talk to anyone. But then I was referred to Anthony at Bison Insurance. And he said, you know what, man? Let me just check out your insurance and give you a free quote and see if I can save you money. So I said, okay. And he came back to me with quotes on my homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, my motorcycle insurance, my everything. And he literally saved me thousands of dollars a year just by doing the work for me. It was easier than going online because all he did was make a phone call and give him some information, and he saved me thousands of dollars. I couldn't have done that on my own. So call Bison Insurance at 716-791-7475 for a free quote. Again, you can call or text 716-791-7475 at Bison Insurance, or go to insurancebison.com.
So, you might have seen with Pan Am Films this Mafia book.
Yeah, come closer to the mic.
Is that better?
Perfect. Yeah, what? The Bills Mafia book.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, a lot of people are like, wait a second, I thought you were a film production company. We are, okay? Yeah. But at the same time, I think the heart of why we do what we do is we're storytellers, mm-hmm. right? Travis, one of the most talented people I know, he started these weekly kind of Western futuristic stories of the Bills games because he's a huge Buffalo fan, and they turned into a podcast, and then it just ended up growing into this book that ended up being very successful. We filmed the promo for it, which was one of the most fun shoots I've ever been on. I don't know if you ever saw it. Yeah. So
was there a drone involved?
It was full on one shot. We had, I think, 3 hours to film it. Yeah. I mean, it was months of prep from him and the team. And but anyway, so coming up on April 20th, we're doing kind of a special feature. We've collaborated with Del Reed of 26 Shirts. And when we were selling the book, a portion of the profits went to Pancho Pax in memory of cool. Pancho Villa. So it's the official handover, the big check to Pancho Pax for the money that was raised. And I know that Del's got some fun things in store. So it's a free event at North Park on the 20th. And we're really excited to, show people the film again and just kind of get the community together. So I'm excited for it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where can people check it out?
It's at the North Park.
Right.
Pan Am, our account online, has posted some stuff about it. If you join our newsletter, we can send some emails out about it. But there's tons of prizes. I know maybe it's too soon, but they're raffling off a Diggs helmet.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. If only it was a couple weeks ago. But it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So,
yeah. No, I mean, like your social media work when we go to Pan Am and everything.
So we are panam.films on Instagram. We're on Facebook. I think it's panam.films. Wait, don't quote me on that. Yeah. Something like that.
I'll double check. Yeah.
I'll double check.
You can, it's definitely that on Instagram, and you probably have a link to Facebook.
For sure.
From there. But, everything that Pan Am posts is cool. So everybody, please go follow them. Yeah.
Pan.am.films.
Pan.am.
You'll find
it. Films. Yeah. It'll be out there.
Yeah, it's out there.
Know. Yeah. What else?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to get into voiceover work.
Yeah.
I want to do some voiceover work, man.
I got a guy.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, David Ottavino.
His name rings a bell.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to do more of that.
Yeah.
So, But I've got some exciting things coming up. I can't talk about them yet.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Teasing. So you have to come back.
Yes.
And talk about them then.
Yeah.
When you can.
When I can.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to share that.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maria, thanks for coming. Really appreciate this.
Paul.
It's been a long time coming.
I know.
Yeah. But
for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. And we need you to come back.
I will.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.